and big bodies. I mean, they're not big, but you know.
They're not proportionate.
Not proportionate.
Amen.
Right? Their wings, listen, are smaller than their bodies, which makes it so amazing that they can fly. Are you with me?
Amen.
You sure? Because this is good. You'll want to get this. All right. Their wings are smaller than their bodies, which makes it really interesting. Now, God created the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, the trees, the birds, the bees.
Amen.
The cows, the dogs, the kittens, the
frogs,
whatever. He breathed into, he took the dust, breathed into and made man. I mean, he is a great creator. So the same God that did all of that lives in you.
It's good.
If we would ever understand that, then we would see ourselves like God sees us. Okay? That's my first point. You got it? That same God that did all that great stuff. But you got to appreciate creation to understand that first. He lives in me. He lives in you. So when you walk on the earth, you have dominion over everything. You. I don't care how old you are, 17, 18, 16, whatever. You have dominion over everything. So when the snake comes slithering in, I saw a snake come slithering in church last night because this woman had a demon. He cast a demon out of her last night. She fell like this all over the place. And he said, "Get her up. I see a demon." He started beating on her head and cast that demon out of that girl last night. Right. So when the snake comes slithering in front of you, you have the ability to do what? Tell it what to do. Now, he was talking about money last night. All right. So there's principles. He was talking about principles. Everything, even T.D. Jakes told us, everything is a system, right? And God is the great sustainer of the system. So if you work the principles of the system, you'll have what God intends for you to have. Amen?
Amen.
If you understand the principles, most often we don't understand the principles. Right? There's a principle that the Bible tells us that as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest will occur. Anybody know that? Anybody ever heard that? Seed time and harvest is in the Word. All right? Will occur as long as the earth remains. So, if I'm a farmer, when I plant my seed in the ground, I do it at a certain time, seed time, so that my harvest will come. Now, as a farmer, if I have a few acres, then I get a bunch of acres. I have 100 acres, let's say. And I plant my seed at a certain time. I plant my seed with what? An expectation. And that expectation is called faith. And I believe that the corn is going to come up, or whatever I'm planting.
You don't plant gourd seeds.
Whatever you do. Whatever. I'm not a farmer, okay? Can you not stop me in the middle? Okay, this is good. I'm telling you. All right, so I plant whatever I'm planting. All right, cabbage. Is that?
No, that's just keep.
What comes out of the ground?
Grain.
Parsley.
Parsley. You don't.
Potatoes.
But no, potatoes are planted from potatoes.
You would know, big boy.
All right, what comes out of the ground?
Apple tree. Potatoes.
Apples.
This is so. I'm sorry, I said that.
All right, apples. Whatever. All right, you understand my point. If I plant my apples, I have an expectation that it's going to come up. All right, in due season, it's going to come up. Now, I went back. The I am factor. The I am factor says that because God is the great I am. When I say I am and put something behind it, it starts attracting to me. You didn't get that. When I say I am and put something behind it, it is attracted to me. So if I walk around and say I am poor, that's what I am. As a man speaks, so is he. I'm just telling you the word. If you speak it and you think it, that's who you are. That's what you are. That's what you will be. If I go around and say I am rich, then guess what I am? Rich. I am beautiful. You got to speak it. I've been telling y'all this all year. I am whatever. So the I am factor, or the I am principle, says if you say, whatever you say behind I am, that's what you are. So seed time and harvest, as long as the earth remains. So when you plant a seed, all right, and we're not just talking about money. We're talking about your talents, your time, whatever. It must harvest. The principle is not complete until you receive. If I go give you $20 and plant this seed, the principle is not complete until who receives? Me. My harvest, it might take 20 years, I don't know. But my harvest is coming at the right time. If I plant it at the right time, my harvest is going to come at the right time. He's an on-time God. I want you to know. It may not come when you want it, but he's right on time. I know that by experience. So when I plant this, it comes back. I heard a preacher a few weeks ago say, we would not have unemployment if people would understand seed time and harvest. Here's what he told a young man. If a young man came to him and said, I can't find a job. He said, what do you mean you can't find a job? I can't find a job. Nowhere, I'm broke, I'm this, I'm that. He says, well, take yourself, go down and volunteer on a job, and you'll get a job. In his volunteering, he was planting a seed. A few weeks later, he came back and said, you know what, I got a job. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think anybody out there would turn you down if you came and said, I'll work for free. Not very many people. But because you took the time and planted your seed, your talent, into somebody else's business, the Lord gave you a harvest. Now, the Bible also says that the Lord can work miracles, do whatever he wants to do. But the Lord gives seed to the sower. That's in the Bible. What does that mean? That means when God gives you something, he'll give you the seed, but it's your responsibility to sow it. So you are blocking your own harvest. Wait a minute. He gives seed to the sower, not the harvest. You really are responsible for the harvest. But we don't plant our seed. Now, I know in my own life, I didn't used to be a tither. And I know when I made a lot of money, I feel richer now that I make less money than I did when I made a lot of money. Because I was breaking this cycle. I didn't understand this principle. So if I had sown and done what I was supposed to do, then I would have a greater harvest now. And so last night we were sewing. So she's a junior in high school. I had a 17-year-old young woman with me last night. There was two of us. We drove it was two cars. There was about 8 of us. I don't remember how many people. 7 or 8. And so we drove 2 cars. And so she looked at me. She said, "Can you take me back to?" I was like, "If I leave now, I'm not coming back." But something in her spirit told her that she needed to sew. So she left with the other girl in the car, went back home, got her checkbook, came back to the church. We were still there because we didn't leave after midnight. Came back to the church and sewed all of her savings. And as she was doing it, she was weeping, obviously. But here's the point. And she heard what the preacher had to say last night. She honed in on what he had to say. That money in your account will not cover your expenses, so you need to give it.
Say it again. It's good.
That money in your account will not cover your debt, so you need to give it. She heard that. It resonated so much so in her spirit that they actually took her back home so she could get her check. But she gave $500. She's just a high school kid. She's away from home. She's foreign. She's not from here. She's away from home, living by herself. basically. I mean, she lives with people, but she's living away from her family.